Hey, we're the Flickchicks.
I'm Ann.
And I'm Monica. I'm so used to just not saying it. Okay. Yeah, and this is the podcast where we don't like cliches, do we? Or sometimes they're good. We have mixed feelings about cliches. Okay.
Actually, yeah, that's right.
We have mixed feelings about cliches.
Yes, we do.
So, if you can already tell, this week we are going to be talking all about movie tropes. And we touched on this a little bit in this was like our first or second episode when we talked about the evolution of rom-coms. We kind of touched on some like rom-com tropes a little bit, but now we're just going to talk about movie tropes in general. Which ones do we like? Which ones we don't like? Maybe a sprinkle in a little which ones we want to see, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, if you don't know what a movie trope is, and do you want to explain to the audience what is a movie trope?
So a movie trope, there are different types of tropes, but basically it's a plot device or a certain arc or like archetype of a person that occurs in a lot of different movies. So to be more specific, we're going to be talking about plot tropes, so plot ideas that happen in a lot of movies, character tropes, so that's more like archetypes, romance tropes, and then we're going to, have a wild card. Any
just a
trope
random
that
trope,
please. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah,
that's what
we're just going to be going through each category and talking about the types of the trope. Well, like I think we're each going to name one trope that we like and one that we don't like. So yeah,
and then discuss it. Yeah,
exactly. Give some examples. Talk about it. It's
gonna
be fun.
Sure.
So
I have a lot. So I'm excited.
Wait, a lot? I picked one for each.
No. I have a lot to say.
Okay,
Sorry, I should have been more specific.
I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm just
No.
like,
That would be weird. Me blindsiding you. By the way, I have 20.
And you're like, I have one. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, did you want to start us off, Anne, with the first plot trope that you don't like? I think we're going for. Are we going?
Let's go with. Let's go with. Yeah, let's go with hate first.
Yeah. Okay.
Negativism.
All right.
That's not a word, but okay.
We'll pretend like it is.
So one of my least favorite plot tropes is the prolonged misunderstandings or miscommunication.
So annoying.
Bruh.
Like when one miscommunication at the beginning of the movie like just completely like messes
ruins
up everything, and then they keep the whole movie's them trying to get back to the understanding.
Yes.
I know
exactly. Or miscommunication, anything of that.
I hate that.
I would say the most popular way people use this trope is usually every movie has a third act misunderstanding, as in the couple is doing well, and then then there's a misunderstanding at the end, and then they're like, I hate you.
Or like they'll hear the end of a phone call, and it's like they'll hear something different, like out of
context. They'll catch him cheating, quote unquote, but it's just like a girl on top of it every time. It happens all the time.
Do you have any examples?
Yeah, I do. So one movie that has a prolonged misunderstanding throughout the whole movie is Love, Rosie. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't. No.
Oh, so basically, I won't spoil it necessarily, but basically, it's not a spoiler because it happens at the beginning.
Okay.
They're two best friends. They're best friends, and they went out one night, and Rosie, the girl, was really drunk, and they ended up kissing. And then the next night, she's like, "Oh, it was so embarrassing what happened last night. Like, I can't believe that happened. Never want to do it again."
Oh my God.
He thinks she's talking about their kiss, but she's just talking about getting drunk in general.
I hate it. I hate it already.
Oh my gosh! So then, literally, the whole thing is them tiptoeing around their feelings for each other the whole movie, and Monica has lasting effects for years. It's not even just
God, I hate it. Why are people unable to why couldn't you have just asked her?
Exactly.
Wait, what's embarrassing? Us kissing? And she was like, oh no, I meant the other thing. You're like, okay,
yeah. Or he's like, do you remember what happened? What do you remember?
Or just what was embarrassing? What are you talking about?
Gosh,
I hate that.
It makes me so mad. Another one. This is not it is a movie, but it's originally a play. Othello, the Shakespeare play.
Yeah.
Literally, man kills his wife or fiance because of a misunderstanding. So it's sorry, spoiler if you haven't read Shakespeare, but
I don't plan on it, but it's okay.
Yeah, but that one, I'm like, oh my gosh. Literally, Game of Thrones' whole concept. I love Game of Thrones, but the whole concept is them going over a misunderstanding because they thought so and so had killed someone, but it wasn't true, and then
I honestly can't even think of a specific one. I was just like
exactly.
5 of them just crossed my mind.
There's so many. It goes throughout. So
I know what you mean. Those are really annoying.
And I'm just gonna like quickly explain why I don't like them. If it's not obvious, they're super frustrating and annoying.
It's just like, what are you trying to gain? Like, I just literally feel like I'm having like my blood pressure going up because I'm like, just freaking talk.
Exactly.
Like, just speak. Use your words.
Especially when the person interrupts. Like, they're like, no, and they're like, let me explain. They're like, no.
Like, I know it sucks. Oh my god.
And also, I feel like they always have to make really unrealistic scenarios for the lie to keep. It's like,
you can't convince me after freaking how many years they didn't actually talk about this.
Yes, I'm not at all. Not even a little bit. No. Oh my goodness. So, and I feel like it decreases the rewatchability of the movie because I'm just like, okay, now I know that they're gonna be, because at least I guess when you're first watching it, you're kind of like, oh, when are they gonna talk about it? But after watching it, I'm like, oh, they didn't talk about it.
Do I want to go through this whole movie for them to just not talk about it? Yeah.
All it does is teach you to communicate. You know, if anything, it's just scared me into over communication. Yeah. I feel like I tell people.
Exactly. I'm like, I try to be as clear as possible because I'm like, no, I'm not dealing with that.
Yes. Like, I'm annoying. I'll be like, did you mean this? Because I don't.
I'm always asking people, what do you mean? Because I'm like, I don't want to misunderstand what you're saying.
No, I always clarify stuff. So yeah, that would be the plot trope that I hate.
Yeah. So okay, well, the one that I hate, I've definitely talked about this before, I think, either in person or on the podcast, but I hate time travel. Just time travel, anything with time travel, it's just enough. Right. It's so annoying. Like, I mean, obviously you can probably think of some examples, but like Interstellar, I was so mad that the last Avengers, I mean, I'm sure that it was coming because, like, isn't Doctor Strange all about like time travel and stuff or whatever? I don't know.
He doesn't time travel necessarily.
So why did they have to put time travel in there? Because my problem with time travel is because like nobody really knows how time travel actually works. That like it's always just somebody's theory and it's always different in every movie. Like the rules of time travel are always different in every movie, and I don't like that because it just pisses me off because the whole time I'm trying to imagine like, okay, wait, but how does that make sense that this person went back and then like, I don't know. I remember sitting there doing Endgame and I was like, wait, how the hell did Captain America go back in time and live a whole other life? Like, it just, I don't even want to think about it.
That was crazy.
It just hurts my brain and I'm like, I don't like it. That's why people are always like, watch Interstellar, because they know that I like thrillers and stuff like that. People are always telling me, watch Interstellar. I'm like, no. I know it's about time travel. I've read the description for it.
Really?
Oh yeah, it's like all time travel, because basically it's time travel, quote unquote, but it's because he's going to space, and you know how in space time moves like slower. So like if you're in space for a certain amount of time, you come back and like way more time has passed, but it's so freaking
like your body hasn't aged as much.
Yeah, because like in the movie you can travel at the speed of light, so it's like basically he spends like a couple months in space, and then his kids are already like old and stuff. I don't know. It's freaking weird.
Okay, yeah, I think I did hear
I don't like it, and I just hate time travel. Just don't do it. I think because there's no like agreeable. Like, no, we can't all agree on what time travel, like, the rules of time travel. I think you just don't do it in movies because you're going to have plot holes in there or like stuff that you're not going to be able to explain. And then I'm just focusing on that and not focusing on the movie. So I hate time travel.
But what about, do you feel that way though about like more comedic movies like Back to the Future or like Minutemen? Like, I feel like those is funny or something.
They're okay. I still like they're
still not like into
it's not like I'll automatically hate the movie if it has time travel in it, but like when they try to make it super complicated like Interstellar or whatever, then I don't like it. But like stuff like Minutemen, it's just super simple. They don't try to go too deep into it. Like, that is fine because they're not trying to make it seem like, oh, we know what time travel is.
They're not trying to rationalize it.
They're just kind of like, we're going back in time, changing a few things and then coming back. Like, okay, that's fine.
It's
cute.
No, I totally get it.
But no, time travel in general is like,
in real life, it's like, no, I agree with you. It's definitely confusing. I can't say I'm bothered by it because like I watched The Flash and
see that is when I stopped watching The Flash, when they started doing time travel. I'm like, no, I don't want to watch this anymore. Literally, I remember the last episode I watched like while I was still watching it was the one where he like first traveled back in time, and I was like, no, I'm good.
After the kiss,
I'm done.
So mad. But no, I love the show. I'm not gonna lie. So
I used to love it. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about it since then. But no bueno.
No bueno.
So, no bueno. Did you want to talk about the one that you liked? That's plot trope that you liked?
So I think we did discuss this in one of our episodes. I'm testing the real fans. Y'all should know this.
Yeah, literally. This is like flickchicks trivia.
Yes. So my favorite plot trope is the fish out of water plot trope.
Oh,
which
right,
is,
right. I didn't think about that. That was from our comedy movie episode. Yeah.
So basically, it's when a character is placed in a situation that's like completely unfamiliar to them.
That's always a good
but
one.
like in an exaggerated manner. So like to name a few: Wonder Woman, Thor, Enchanted, Legally Blonde, Little Mermaid, like all those things.
Yeah.
I'm really a big fan of it because I think, first of all, I think it's hilarious. Like, there's so many comedic moments with that. Sister Act. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's the easiest way to warm up to the protagonist because I feel like you always sympathize with someone who's in like a weird situation and like confused, and you're like, you know, and like I feel like you get less mad at them for messing up because you're like, oh well, they're somewhere like unfamiliar to them.
Versus, it's like kind of like in Mean Girls, you know, in Mean Girls how like she becomes a mean girl. I kind of feel for her because it's like it's not like she's had any other school experience, so she's kind of just following the crowd type of thing. So
versus if she was like had always been, totally agree with you. If in Mean Girls, if Lindsay Lohan's character, I totally forgot her name.
She just like changed schools for example.
Yeah, if she just changed schools, I'd be like, yo, you were always fake. Like you were trying to, like, why take this empire down all of a sudden? Because you know how it works, right? Yeah. But for her to come like from being homeschooled to just like, you know, I felt like that was again fish out of water. It's easy way. Like. Yeah, you can. It's hilarious, and it's an easy way to get people to warm up to your main character.
Yeah,
like,
relate
quickly.
To them.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. I forgot about that one when I was like looking for plot tropes, and I totally forgot that we talked about that one.
No, it's hard to find some tropes sometimes, but this one came to mind, and I was like, yeah,
this is one of mine where I feel like it's more for me, just kind of like a guilty pleasure plot trope, but just anything to do with like royalty. I guess this is kind of like fish out of water, but it's like, you know, royalty for like normal people. So like when normal people get thrust into like royal things, so like Princess Diaries, The Prince and Me, all those like movies where the girl falls in love with like a prince and then it like world turns upside down, whatever.
What is that one with Vanessa Hudgens where she
oh my god, all of those like I love it. And also kind of a little bit like Crazy Rich Asians, I feel like is kind of that like
that's
that
a
too.
good
Even
one.
though he's not royalty, but it's technically like she didn't know he was like
upper
super
class,
rich.
like moving up
like
in
those
classes,
type of. I guess it's like that's kind of a branch off of Fish Out of Water because it's technically a fish out of water, right? But like specifically royalty, I don't know. I just always love royalty.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's like a Princess and the Pauper kind of idea where you like not necessarily, but you move from
But I want to see. I haven't seen one necessarily except maybe Princess Diaries, but like one where it's like reversed, so like the girl is actually a princess and then like the guy is like normal or whatever. It's always like the prince and then the girl, and but I want to see roles reversed a little bit for one of those.
I feel like
Hallmark,
that would be cool.
Call me up, I'll write a script.
You will. I know. I agree with you. I do like that because I'm like, obviously I'm a big Disney girl, so I'm like, ooh, Prince in real life, like sign me up.
Exactly.
Like, sounds nice. Even though, like, in real life, princes sound like the worst. Like, when I hear about, like, what Meghan Markle had to go through, I'm like, ew, okay, no thank you.
And also now I just imagine it, like, especially if they're already a prince and they're born a prince and all that, like, they're probably super spoiled, super, like, out of touch with reality type of thing.
Yeah, I'm not with it. Like, the only reason, I don't know why I researched this for some reason, but I found out Harry went to, like, to the military, so that's why he's, like, kind of normal. He's actually, like, a nice guy.
What's his other guy? Didn't his brother go too? William?
Yeah, but, like, Harry stayed in the military for a long time
because the other guy had to take the throne or whatever.
Yeah, so he was like Harry was like a bad boy after his mom died apparently.
I heard about that.
He went to the army and then he fell in love with what I think like a country in Africa. Ooh, or is it Haiti? I'm so sorry. I don't remember. But he just fell in love with like their culture and stuff. So then he really was like a philanthropic person and he started going back there a lot. So
Harry's
he's
the
like,
only good one in that family.
Yeah, I don't rate. And everyone who says, "Oh, Meghan's taking," no, Harry chose to leave for his wife.
Exactly.
And that's way
a real
it
one.
be.
That is a real one.
I
renounce your titles, everything. Yes,
exactly.
See, that's a good movie plot. Like, do you see that?
Oh my gosh, it is. That's like in it happened. Actually, I'm not going to spoil this because this is one of my other movies. But we'll talk about
Never
this
mind.
later.
Moving on.
Yes.
Now we're moving on
character,
to character trope. Yes.
Yes. So, clear my throat. The one I hate, Monica. Brace yourself.
I feel like I'm gonna when you say it, I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, like it's
you know exactly. I couldn't find the proper title for this girl. Sorry, spoiler. It's a woman.
Okay.
For this type of person, but I know you know what I'm talking. I think you do. Okay.
Okay.
I bear with me. This title is long because I couldn't find the name. The annoying, rebellious hipster, small town boredom. I just want to travel because I'm not like other girls.
Yep. That
is
so
essentially
tired of this town. Like, I want to go cross country to follow my dreams.
Oh my gosh. Listen,
Ladybird.
The reason I had to put every single word in is that those are the only lines that they have in the movie, by the way. All this, I just want to travel. I'm not like other girls.
Yep.
That's the only two things. Literally, there's a couple criteria you can check off the list, and that they're probably this girl in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
They're usually living a privileged, nice middle to middle upper class lifestyle.
Exactly.
Okay?
For sure.
They're super ungrateful and bratty to their parents because they're together and living a nice life.
Yeah.
Like, oh, devils, how dare they?
Yep.
They talk about wanting to leave a small little town, but they won't actually do anything to get that to happen. Like, they don't really get a part-time job. Like, the movie's never about them, like, working to get out of the town. It's just them
complaining about it. Yeah, I'm just imagining, what's her face, Kat from 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes, she is. She's a little...
I like how she gets called out for it, though. Like, her teacher's like, you are a white woman. Like, she's
exactly. Like, that's why I like that movie, because they called it out.
Yeah, that's funny.
They're usually super self-righteous. Like, they're like, like, I know what morality is. And I really think they're just the shallowest personification of like white feminism, like what people imagine it's like, and then they're like put it on the screen. Like, I definitely I will give Hollywood as a whole more credit for calling those girls out more, because I don't think it happens as much. Yeah. Or at least they get made fun of more because it's a terrible archetype.
I feel like everyone knows a girl like that in real life. That's always like,
I know, and they're like
town, like, oh my god,
like no one enjoys that.
Like, okay.
Like, it's like the problem with them fundamentally is that they can't just be happy without bringing other people down. Like, it's not like I just want to travel. Like, that's fine. It's like, I want to travel, unlike these low life people who want to stay here forever. Like, it's like, what?
Like,
why
they use it as an insult. Like,
else?
you stayed at that in our small town forever. Like, you didn't get you didn't do anything important.
Like, oh, you got married and had kids. Ugh. And I'm like, what?
Like, let people do what they want with their life.
Yes, like, as long as you're not okay, so a few examples. I think, like you said, Lady Bird is a good one. The first time I felt like Aubrey was like that.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that movie in a while, so I don't.
Yeah, but every Britt Robinson character to me, she always plays that girl. Period. She's always like, I need to leave, and I'm like, okay. The Perfect Date, like that one with Noah Centineo, the girl. She was the worst one like I've seen to date. Like, she literally was like, ugh, I bet that guy's like some privileged white boy. And I'm like, you're describing yourself. Yeah. I don't understand what's happening here. God. It's so bad. Even like the half of it, I feel like there was that too in it. Bit, Ellie Chu a little bit, and Aster. And like, let me just finish it off with a quote from, because I like this too. In Stranger Things, Jonathan accused Nancy of being the same thing. He said, you're just another suburban girl who thinks she's rebelling by doing exactly what every other suburban girl does until that phase passes and you marry someone and settle down just like your parents who you thought were depressing. Like, that's... Ooh, yep. Bars. Okay? Like, you're not... They have to convince people they're special. You're not. You're like...
Like, people think you have to be different to be special, but it's like...
I just hate that.
Do whatever you want to do, bro.
I know. Be happy. Don't... Who cares what people think? Just... I feel like they do the most
also,
because they have to tell people.
Small... Like, people are always like, oh, I hate this town or whatever. You're probably just not making the most of it. Yes, I feel like if you really want to have fun, you can have fun anywhere.
Exactly. Like, we don't live in a small town whatsoever, but I guess, like, if you wanted to take a bad look on, like, where we live, you could be like, oh, like, suburbia, like, who cares? Like, I want to go to the big city. It's like, you know, if you have a good group of friends, you know, and you can, I don't know, there's just,
like, to me it just seems like they don't want to make the most of it, and like you probably haven't even tried to like explore and like do different, like find a hobby. I don't know, just anything.
Find a hobby. I feel like there's so many cool things, especially in every movie. The cheesy whole, oh, I have a secret place. Those only happen in small towns because you can't do it.
I remember because we lived in we grew up in like a town that wasn't really that small. I remember wishing I grew up. I was like, oh my god, I want to be in like a small town where like everyone knows each other and like you go hang out with everyone.
To my friends.
I could bike to my friend's house, like that kind of thing. I wished I lived in a town like that.
I'm always jealous of those kids. Bruh, if we bike to our friend's house, we get abducted or something.
First of all, I have to go on the highway with my bicycle. But I don't even think I had a bicycle. I never did. Our street was too busy, so my parents were like, no. Well, like we had them when we were younger, but then we never bought new ones when we got older.
Your street is really...
It was. I live in a small town now, so I'm a small town girl. And I love it. It's great. Oh my god. No, but it's great. I'm like, I finally live in that town that I wanted to live in, where it's like you can just bike everywhere and it's all everyone knows each other.
Yeah. I don't... Like, I definitely see that, there are downsides. Like, there could be, like, groupthink and, like, everyone thinks the same.
Yeah. But I mean, if your town is racist, I understand.
Yes,
but
exactly.
They never say that in the movie, so I'm going to assume they're not.
They don't. That's not the problems they have. The problem is they don't know how to make a life for themselves.
Anyways.
Okay, enough about that. Go on, yes.
Okay, so one of the character tropes I dislike, personally, this isn't really, I don't hate it as much as you probably like, as we hate the one we were just talking about, but it's just one that annoys me. And it's the gay best friend character.
Oh, that's a good one too.
I just stop making them the best friend. Like, I don't like it. It's just like the most cliche way of being like, oh well, we need some little spice it up. Like, we need someone who's a little sassy, so like let's give them a gay best friend. And this can also be extended into either like the person of color best friend, like the only person of color in the movie happens to be the token. That's what I'm looking for. Where it's like, we need someone to add a little comedy, spice. A little spice, a little I don't know, like challenge what the main character thinks and be like, you go girl, whatever. So let's just throw in a gay person, or in some cases a person of color. I don't like it. It's just annoying. It's been used so many times before, like in like Easy A, Mean Girls, My Best Friend's Wedding. Like, you could probably find so many of them.
Easy A, really?
Yeah, the guy that she was like helping out, not best friend, they're not best friend, but her little friend that ends up being gay. Like it's the character who, like the side character who ends up being gay just to add a little spice. Yes,
I agree.
I don't like that. I'm just like, it seems like a half-assed attempt at just throwing in a little, like, people can be spicy and not be gay or not be a person of color. You know what I mean? It just shows that they're like, those people are only for side characters and like just to like be on the sidelines, have no life. And like, also that's the problem too, they have no life outside of the main character.
That's what's the worst.
They never give them a background story, nothing. They're always just there. To be like,
because I would argue, like, for example, like Sex Education does have the gay best friend, but they gave him
exactly. He has a whole other he has a whole other personality. Like, we get to learn about him. That's fine.
Exactly.
But it's like when he's just there to give a little spice, I'm like, okay, no. That's enough.
No, I totally agree with you.
Also, and really not everyone has like a singular best friend either. Why does there always have to be a best friend character? You know,
only one. Like, you don't have two friends.
That's you don't have two. Like, some people don't have any like best friend. Like, you just have a couple of friends, or like maybe you have like a group of friends. I don't know, but like, why does everyone always have to have that one singular best friend? I don't know.
Like, I get why they don't give them too many friends, like, because that's hard to keep track. But you can have two. Come on now, it's not that
or
hard.
None.
Yeah,
or
none.
People have none. It works.
Yeah, good.
So,
I mean, that's true.
That's one I don't. Really
like. No, I agree. It's a good character to not like.
Yeah. Like, it's not that I don't like the character, but I don't like the concept of it. That's what I meant to say. It's a trope. I don't like the trope.
Yeah, perfectly. Yeah. Okay, so on to my favorite character archetype / trope. It is the anti-hero.
I have the same one. I love the anti-hero.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give the definition in case because I feel like people mess this up all the time. Some people think anti-hero literally means villain, which I'm like, no. Does that make sense, my guy? No. So it's a protagonist who has the opposite of the most traditional attributes of a hero, and they usually have a lot of undesirable traits. Like, they're not they're usually pretty messy, and their moral compass is a little
I was gonna say they have like the questionable morals a little bit. Like, you root for them, but then you're also like, wait, they're not doing really great things either. So it's like, do you root for them? Or like it's
yeah,
kind of
and
like
they
you root for
usually
them the
become
whole
the hero
movie.
by accident.
Yeah, or like you root for them the whole movie, and at the end you're like, wait, they were doing some bad things, and I was rooting for it.
Yes,
know?
exactly. So there's a difference between, like, obviously there are villains that we do root for. So if you like, for example, Joker, that's not an anti-hero. You just like the villain.
That's the villain, yeah.
But if the main character is someone who's very flawed and isn't like, you know, the conventional way, you could put them in an anti-hero category. I give the best example, like, to compare is like people who like Iron Man versus Captain America, or like Batman versus Superman. Like Iron Man and Batman can be a little shady. Like Iron Man's not really, he's a good guy, but he says a lot of crappy things. He's just not all over. Versus Cap is like, he does no wrong or whatever. And same with Superman, he's always like
the hero. Yeah, whatever.
right
I have a
thing.
couple of like non-superhero examples where it's like, for example, Inception. Pretty much. Like, you're
really?
Rooting for have you watched Inception, right? Have you?
Yeah.
Where it's like they're the protagonists and you're rooting for them, but then you realize you're rooting for them to like basically rob this guy and like to help a large company get more money. Like that, the intentions are not really that great, because it's like the quote unquote villain. There's not really a villain. The villain is the guy. What's his name?
That they're working
Cillian
for.
Murphy's character or whatever. The guy who they're trying to like steal the dream or implant the idea to he didn't do anything wrong. He literally they want to break up his dad's company. So like they're not technically the heroes. Like they're not doing great things.
Right.
But you're rooting for them
really
to
messed up.
Yeah, but you're rooting for them to, you know, do it. So it's like because it's for that Japanese guy who wants to have like he wants his company to be number one, basically.
Yo, girl, that went way over my head. I didn't think about that. I was like, what do you mean?
That's a really good example of anti-hero, because it's like you root for them the whole movie, and then you think about it and you're like, wait, they were like doing bad things. I guess a more like clear example would be, for example, like Ocean's 11, Ocean's 10, 8, whatever, all of those, where it's like they're doing a heist, so like that's not good, but like you're rooting for them anyways.
Yeah. So. No, I have other like even like small, like Despicable Me. That's a good example, because Gru's like a villain, but he like turns out to be okay. Yeah. Even Hunger Games, Katniss Everdeen is an anti-hero. She's not doing
like she's trying to overthrow the government.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, bro, she kills mad people. Like she's you know, obviously Logan's a very obvious one, I would say. Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy too, they're all criminals who just have to come together and be like,
exactly.
Whoops.
So yeah, I love the anti-hero. I think it shows like the reason I like it, I think it shows like the people are complex. Like not every hero, like honestly, and not everyone in life is like has 100% good intentions anyways. Like people are always, especially when you talk about stuff like Inception or like industry stuff, like office situations, like there's not a lot of good people. People are always trying to step over other people's toes, and like it's hard to get ahead in life without doing anything bad, kind of thing. 100%. Like, you know what I mean? You have to cut corners. Yeah. So it just shows that people are complex, and also like the people watching are complex too, where it's like you want to root for people, and then like you have to question whether you actually agree with what like they're doing morals, and stuff like that. Yeah, I like it a lot.
No, I'm just overall, I'm a huge fan of like flawed characters.
Exactly,
like I think
like complex. I like complex characters that have like lots of different sides to them.
I just don't. I think it gives them more personality. Like I find it so lame. Like being a good person is not a
personality
like,
trait. Yeah,
it's not really though. It's just like, oh, that's like where your compass lies, but I don't really know you. Like like saying like, oh, like do I know Captain America? No, like I don't really know anything about him. Like, or even like some more traditional, I can't think of any traditional ones right now, but just like you don't really know what they are other than being the hero. But you could probably name a bunch of personality traits of a bunch of anti-heroes, because they showcase it way more in their. You just learn more about a person when they're doing bad stuff.
And basically, I want to say was I want to see more like female anti-heroes, because I feel like they're super common like in male action settings. Yes. But I want to see more like female anti-heroes, or even just like main female characters that have like noticeable flaws, not like, oh, my flaws sometimes I'm a little like pushy or whatever. No, I need like an actual like flaw where it's like, oh, sometimes this girl's like a really bad friend, or like she's like really shitty to people sometimes, but like not in an annoying way, you know.
Girl, you are touching upon some other stuff in the future. I will elaborate. I agree with you 100% though. Yeah, I definitely think that's something.
But no, anti-heroes, I love it. Show me more.
I love that new direction. Like that's like it's definitely a newer trend, and I'm really a big fan of it. So it's really good stuff. Yeah. Okay, now into maybe one of my fave.
I'm ready to
fave tropes. Romance tropes.
So this is just talking about like the romance itself, not like each of the not like characters in romance, because we did already talk about characters and in our romantic comedy
Yeah.
whatever episode.
So like,
so just
yeah,
like
exactly.
what happens in the romance, that's what we're talking about.
The romantic style, if you will.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the one that I dislike strongly. Sorry, that's cough. Mine is instant love. Insta love, love at first sight, anything like in that realm.
Yeah.
Even if they fall in love within a week, I don't like it. Why? It's not real. Love at first sight isn't real. It's just, it's not. And also, even if it was like, a guy meets a girl. Let me just give the examples before I start talking.
Yeah.
So a few examples: Twilight, Les Mis, 500 Days of Summer. I would even put 16 Candles in there, and I'm just gonna elaborate. I just feel that anytime where the character falls for a person based off their looks, I put that in that category.
Oh, like, yeah.
Essentially, you see them, and then you're immediately interested, and then like a love story happens after that, and like that to me. Lame. It is such a shallow element of a person, and it's not interesting to watch on TV. Like, I know that that's how a lot of people find each other in real life, but
right.
I don't need to watch that on TV. Like, that's just or on screen.
Yeah.
I
personally
boring.
don't like when like they literally like see each other and then automatically they know that they like each
Right?
other. But I do like the whole like if it's like fate. Or like, you know,
like serendipity a little bit. Yeah.
I mean, I'll finish what
That's
you can finish what you were saying, and then I'll I'll give a few examples of what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah,
continue. For sure. No, I mean like instant, like in love. I still think 16 Candles falls in that category because it's okay. She can have a crush on a man. That's fine.
Yeah.
She's 16. That's normal. But I think his infatuation with her goes into the insta love category because I was like, he didn't even know who she was.
No. Like, yeah, no, I know
like,
what you mean.
I just find that super boring, and there's no intrigue. I already know the person's in love with the person, and then like that's it. And like, they're in love because the person's beautiful. Like, that's not very exciting. Like, every actor and actress is usually very attractive, so it's like, well, duh. Like, I didn't. It's not a surprise to me. Like, yeah. So I find it super boring. Especially, I will say, in shows. A lot of shows when insta love happens, I kind of just like won't watch it as much, or like I'll literally stop shipping the couple. Like, I'll be like, they like each other right away.
Yeah, I don't think I watch a lot of like romance things that have that in it, honestly. Maybe because I don't like it either, but in shows or movies, I can't think of any
I don't
examples.
like it either, but I would say like I said, Twilight, 500 Days of Summer, they don't do it as much in like rom-coms, and that's why I like rom-coms. But I would say a lot of like where the romance is the secondary plot. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. That's when it happens. So like a lot of superhero movies, it's like he sees the girl and like, that's it, and like that's the way it goes. But or even TV shows like Teen Wolf, for example, like Allison and Scott literally were together within a week, and I was like, not Endgame. I mean,
they're in high school, so I feel like I can forgive it a little bit more.
Really?
Because they're supposed to be in high school. Because high school, when you're that young, you fall in love with everybody.
Nope.
But if you're like a grown adult and you're falling in love with someone,
if you're a grown adult, I don't like it. But even for me in a show, if you're in high school, I'm like, that's cute, but you guys are not gonna be the end goal. It's gonna be. Of
course not. That's what high school's all about. You fall in love with someone, and then like 2 seconds later, you're like, oh shit.
Like I don't even want to see the trajectory. Like I'm like, break it up. It's over. It's too fast. Maybe I'm just not. I don't like to see hot people fall in love because they're hot. I think it's lame.
That's true.
That's lame.
I agree.
So that's my least favorite romance trope. I see. What about you?
Mine is I don't know if this is a trope or more like a cliche, but mine's the super hot dude somehow falls in love with the loser girl.
Oh, Monica, that's literally 16 Candles. I hate that. I hate it.
First of all,
unrealistic.
Super unrealistic. Super unrealistic. It's never like I've never heard of that happening. Have you ever seen a couple like in real life? I mean, where the guy is just like clearly way more attractive than the girl, because I haven't.
No,
I never see it. That doesn't happen. You know what I do see though?
Impossible.
I see a girl who was like super attractive, super pretty, whatever, with the guy who's like meh.
Yeah, because it's not even like, it's not sexist, bruh. Like men value looks a lot more overall and women just kind of like other traits, I would say. Other than or put other traits above looks at times.
And like I think it also just the whole like super hot dude somehow falls in love with the loser girl category. Also, this is very like heteronormative, by the way. I mean,
yes,
that's we're talking about this because there's not a lot of LGBTQ
yeah,
movies to talk about of it. But
I'm so sorry.
I know, yeah. But also, yeah, I feel like it doesn't take into account that a lot of like straight guys, they care a lot about what people think about them. So like they wouldn't be caught dead. They wouldn't be caught dead dating the ugly loser girl.
No,
whatever. Like
she gotta be hot, like a hot loser. Like it's like I'm bringing this girl.
The hot loser that's like, oh, she's a loser because she has her glasses on. Oh, now she took it off.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about like. Yeah, so stuff like I don't know, like the Duff, or I mean, she wasn't ugly, but I mean, like you know what I mean, the like the Duff, or
100%.
What's the other one? Was something about Mary. I think, that one.
I never watched that one.
It's like with Cameron Diaz, and I know like there's some ugly guys fighting over her.
And Ben Stiller, whatever.
Oh no, sorry, that's the opposite. That's the hot girl. Never mind. I'm trying to think of ones where it's a hot guy and a not cute girl.
Oh, hot guy. Every teen rom-com movie ever, like a lot of them have that.
Yeah, I can't really remember, but
there's like
even just like a girl. She doesn't always have to be ugly. Yeah, she doesn't always have to be ugly, but just like in general, like the loser girl.
Yes,
it kind of a little bit
even
like
in A Walk to Remember.
Yeah, a little bit, or like To All the Boys I Loved Before. That kind of thing. A little bit of that. Because like, especially when it's like in high school, like those popular dudes, like they care a lot about their reputation. So it's like, it's not realistic. What I want to see though, like I feel like not what I want to see, but the ones where it's a hot girl that falls in love with a not so hot guy or whatever, I think that's way more realistic because that happens a lot. Like I've seen so many couples in real life where I'm like, oh, she's way out of his league type of thing. Yeah. But you know.
But it's like, but he's funny. Let's usually what it is.
And like, that's fine. I think it's just maybe because like in general, if you're talking like the whole like heteronormative relationships, the girls are always taught to like look on the inside and like whatever, but then guys are just like, nah, she hot, is she cute, whatever, like that's cute, pretty much it. So that's
you never hear a guy go, but she's nice.
I've never heard that before. I've never heard it before.
No, but she's real nice, guys. She's nice, I swear.
She's very gorgeous to me.
That's what girls do all the time. Like they're like, okay, I have a crush on this guy, and before they show the picture, they're like, he's really nice.
Okay, but like no, I swear he has a good personality. Like guys never do that. Well, actually, like the video I just referenced, that little video. You know, have you seen that one where it's a bunch of dudes on a bus, and then the guy's like, she is very gorgeous to me. Like that's literally it. Where it's like he literally, and the reason that video is so funny because it's like you're not used to hearing guys trying to convince their other guy friends like, no, she's very pretty to me. Like they never do that because they don't.
I'm convinced that video ain't real.
No, I love that video. You don't know which one I'm talking about?
No,
it's
I don't.
So funny. No. It's like these dudes are on a bus and then they're all like, oh yeah, and then the random guy gets up from a seat and he's like, she is very gorgeous to me.
Oh, so cute.
Like they're probably like roasting his girlfriend. Yeah. I don't know, something like that, but it's really funny.
It's just, I agree with you. It's so unrealistic. It's just, I'm going to admit to you, I don't even like it the other way around. I don't
like it that much in general as a trope, but I think it's just less realistic when it's the hot guy who falls in love with the loser. And it's funny because the loser girl never really is ugly. She's just kind of like a loser.
She's still cute.
She's always hot. And then you'll find other ones where the girl is like super hot and then the guy's super ugly. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. Like I would say, like, no offense to, what's his face? I forget his name. But the movie Knocked Up.
I was going to say Seth Rogen.
Yes.
No, it's ugly, but it's like, why?
Like not even it's like not even just in life. In the movie, she's like a super accomplished woman. She had her whole life together. Seth Rogen sits on the couch and smokes pot all day, and I'm like supposed to believe that this is cute.
It's not real. I guess I'll change my dislike romance trope to just in general when it's like a super hot person with a not so hot. Because that's not realistic.
It's not. And also, I know this may not be unpopular opinion. I also think Always Be My Maybe was also like that to me. A little bit, yeah. I felt like the woman was just so much more accomplished, and then the guy was just, a guy who
I think that was part of the plot, though, right? Because she was hesitant to get with him because she's like, you haven't even done anything with your life.
Yeah, but I was like, you really should leave. Like, that was my solution.
Yeah, I wasn't rooting for him. He was kind of annoying.
No, because he wasn't even, like, sweet. Like, to me, he wasn't sweet. He wasn't, period. Like, he wasn't even, like... Like, no, I didn't rate it. She should have stayed with what's his face, Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is so funny in that movie. Oh my god, the whole restaurant scene, that was funny.
Yes.
Anyways, so that's the one I don't like.
Yes. Okay.
I feel like we might also have the same one for like, but
I definitely think we do. Okay. 100. The one that we do like, I don't doubt it for a second. Oh, okay. Mine is Enemies to Lovers.
Oh, okay. No, that's not the one I picked.
Oh no,
I picked a different one.
Opposites Attract.
I like that one though. I do like that one.
Yes.
Enemies.
That one is. Let me just explain. A couple movies. This is the one I wanted to mention. Anastasia. She gave up her crown to be with a peasant. So that's very sweet. Yeah, Dimitri. They didn't like each other at the first.
Yeah.
Love it.
Those are always... I love
so
enemies
cute.
to lovers.
Oh,
So
27 good. Dresses. I love that one.
Yes.
Ooh, the proposal.
Yep.
Candy jar. We both really like that movie.
Candy jar. Oh, that's like the perfect one. That's literally like textbook definition enemies to lovers.
Even Tangled, like they didn't really like each other at first. Like, I mean, Flynn thought she was hot, but she's like, she too much work.
No, exactly.
So I love it. It's like, it's just so much more interesting. It's like,
I know a lot of people that don't like it though. A lot of people are like, no, friends to lovers is better. Enemies, but no, you can't. Enemies to lovers is just juicy.
Enemies to lovers too. I feel like you get to know the characters more because you have to watch them soften up. Like it's a little bit
like the scene in the movie where you can tell that they're like softening up a little, and it's so good.
I love it, and they have to find common ground. I love it, and I think the tension is so much more like. And
yes,
it doesn't say will they, won't they? It's just it's good to the taste. The best friend one usually means somebody's in love with someone, and then it's like kind of sad actually. And I'm like, oh man. Enemies to lovers, love it. I love conflict.
I was thinking about putting that for my but then I'm like, I have another one that I love more.
Okay, nice. What is it? Wait, you told me this already. I swear.
I might have. I think I might have said it in one of our other episodes, but
yes,
fake relationships. I love fake relationships. It's so cheesy, but like if they're like, oh, we have to pretend to date, I'm like, yes. Yes,
it's hilarious.
Because a lot of the time they are enemies. Like sometimes enemies to lovers, like it happens in these type of whenever they do fake relationships. Sometimes they're enemies to lovers, but I love it. I love it.
I agree.
Don't ask me why. That is like my guilty pleasure with anything, like books, movies, everything. If there's a fake relationship, I am all for it.
Yes.
So like obviously examples everyone knows, like To All the Boys I'd Loved Before. What's the other one I had in my head?
She's All That, kind of. Not really, but
no,
that's not it.
Because hold on,
what's that movie? The one with the Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She did a movie where they like faked a relationship so they could get Easy A. They faked a relationship to get their exes back, but obviously. So you should probably watch that. You might like it.
Interesting. But no, anyways, I love fake proposal. Oh my god, the proposal. I'm so stupid. That's what I'm thinking. I was like, I know there's a big one that everyone knows. Proposal, I just fake relationships are
just go with it. Just go with it.
Oh, she's not isn't that Jennifer Aniston?
Jennifer Aniston and whatever, they're Adam in a Sandler. Fake Adam Sandler, they're in a fake relationship. They're in a fake divorce relationship and in a fake relationship.
Bro,
you not watched the movie?
No, I don't think
so. Monica, you would love it. So basically, she has to pretend that he was married to her in the past, like before. But then they're also lying to another group of people where they're together. Monica, this movie,
I don't like really Jennifer Aniston and what's it called? Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
I don't really like them.
I think you would like this. I don't like
The
them,
Wedding
but
Date.
This
The
is
Wedding
a good
Date.
movie. The Wedding Day. I've
never seen that one. It's like that redhead girl. What's her name? And then like she has to she brings this dude like as her date for a wedding. Like they pretend that they're dating or whatever. And obviously
Julia Roberts.
No, it's not Julia Roberts. Oh. It's the redhead girl. What's her name?
The redhead girl. Molly Ringwald?
No, it's a newer movie. Hold on. The Wedding Day. And when I say her name, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. Deborah Messing. You know her?
I've never heard of
Okay, look it up. You'll know what I'm talking about.
But
anyways, fake relationships. Mwah, chef's kiss. Love it.
I still think you should watch Just Go With It, even if you're not into them. I think you would really like it. That's the only Adam Sandler movie that I like, period. I don't like any of his other movies. No, I've actually never seen this girl in my life, but that's okay.
But wow, that's weird. Anyways, so that's my like guilty pleasure. I love it. It's the best. Keep it coming. Yeah, there should be more because there's not that many movies I feel like that haven't been. I've read books were in like stuff like that.
A lot of Wattpad books.
I was gonna say a lot of books on Wattpad. They love this trope, and that's why I love it. I think because it's just the best. I don't know why. I just love it.
I think there's not that many, but there are a couple like big blockbuster. The ones that do it end up doing really well.
Exactly. So I need more fake relationships. Pronto.
Some people, it's not really a fake relationship. Some people put How to Lose a Guy in it, but that's kind of cheating.
Yeah, because they were,
they were legitimately dating each other.
I mean, like, where they both know that they're in a fake relationship. And so, like.
Yeah, yes.
But anyways.
Okay. Yes. That's cute. It happens, I bet you it happens in more movies, like, that aren't about romance than
maybe
than we could think of. Because I don't know. I just can't remember any right now.
But no, I just love it. So anyways, we're going to our wild card trope. So just literally any kind of trope. So yeah.
Okay, y'all. I'm about to get controversial with this one.
Listen.
Trigger warning. Okay.
For what?
for my wild card dislike trope. Okay.
Okay.
Because it's gonna sound weird. I feel like if they took this out of context, it would sound terrible.
Okay.
But it's not that bad. Trust. It's the dead mom / dead parent.
Oh yeah, we did talk about this in our rom-com episode too.
It's controversial because I'm gonna say I don't really think that a lot of people actually have a dead mom. Like, I think it's a pretty, like, I don't know
what are the stats. I need to know.
But I really don't feel like it's such a big, at least not to the rate that movies are making it. Like, every movie, every
I feel like there's definitely a discrepancy between the real life and the movie.
I'm like, what?
Because it's like it makes people seem interesting. They have dead parents or whatever.
See, that's my biggest problem. Listen, this is my biggest problem with it. All right. Sometimes it's done well. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, all of it is terrible, I'm not gonna watch the movie. Like, To All the Boys did it really well. Edge of 17 did it perfectly, in my opinion.
Oh, because that was the whole point. Like, she was still dealing with it. Yeah,
exactly. Even the live action Cinderella, like, they addressed her mom way better. I agree. Like, they made it like integral to like why she's so not mean to her sisters, which by the way, a lot of people are like, how come Cinderella didn't, like, beat up her sisters and her mom, because she could have, whatever. But in that one, they, like, her mom said, like, always be kind, like, so that always was, like, something that resonated with her. But I think it's done badly way more times than it's done well. Yeah, especially in Disney. Like, Disney is like
to the point where they just won't even mention the parent. They'll be like, they're just not here. Don't question it.
Like, they're like, Little Mermaid, mom, where is she? Beauty and the Beast, mom, where is she? Enchanted, I don't have a mom either. 2 girls don't have moms. They're like, whatever. Literally, another example I remember where I'm like, this is actually a problem, is not that this is a good movie overall, but The Kissing Booth. Listen. There's literally, like, at the beginning, there's a whole montage where she's talking about her life, and she's like, my mom got sick. Mom's dead. But now I'm friends with Noah. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the? Why? Literally unnecessary to her character. Like, literally didn't come up later at all. Like, I'm like, are you trying to say that she has mommy issues and that's why she
acts like this?
Guys? Like, oh my God. Why she takes off her shirts in locker rooms?
Something else in general.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying that one was the most, like, blatant, stupid dead mom trope, I would say. Yeah. However, I think that was the most exaggerated version of it, but I think a lot of movies are still like that, though. I think they do that, maybe not as cheesily, if you will, but it's like cheesily. But I think that's the way I see it. Like, I'm like, you just threw that in there for no reason. Like
what are you gonna lose by giving your mom? I don't understand.
Oh my gosh. I think overall, the biggest mistake I think that Hollywood makes is acting like having a dead mom is a character trait. It's not. There's a difference. If all the ones that do it well is like, you had a close relationship with that parent and now they're gone, and then they're showing you the effects of the absence of that parent. Like, that's
literally like Edge of 17. Different. Yeah.
Exactly. Or like a bunch of movies where like the mom being gone is impactful to the characters, like how they act, right? In a bunch of other movies, though, they're just like, oh, she has a dead mom, so therefore you know who this person is. Like, no, what? Like,
I don't.
I don't feel closer to her because of this reason. Like, this is not even, like, what? That's not a character trait. That's just something that's happened to the person. Like,
yeah.
No, especially if you don't elaborate on it. Like, I'm like, what? For what? You couldn't pay for a mom actress? Is that what it is? Like,
you don't want to. I honestly feel like that's what it is. Maybe they just don't want the extra actor there, so they're like,
like, we don't have time. Like, I'm like, you can literally make the parents as irrelevant as you want. They do that in movies all the time. Like, parents don't have to be the center of the movie. Yeah. Like, so I'm like,
just say they're on a business trip if you don't want to pay for the freaking actor. Like,
it's just so
or maybe
weird.
They're divorced or something. Like, something realistic.
Do not. I just feel like it should be a rule. Do not kill off a parent or character unless you're gonna reference it in a smart and proper way later, or if it's actually gonna affect the character. Because otherwise, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Just leave me alone.
I just can't. That's how I feel about that one.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Okay, so for mine, I feel like for both of my wildcard tropes, they're not really like tropes per se. They're just kind of like things I don't like and like in movies that are just like,
okay,
I don't know how to explain it. But
cliches, yeah, I get it.
I guess
things that happen a
so
lot.
dislike trope is when anyone that's not American has a British accent to designate that they're foreign. Who came up with this idea?
Can you name examples?
Any movie. The only examples I think of off the top of my head are like those old movies of like about the Roman Empire or like Persian Empire, or you know, like those like medieval where it's happening in a country that's not America.
So I get what you're saying. Like everything that's like medieval, royal, or like even a little old, and like hello,
like, or what? Just like no, like foreign. I'm trying. I had one in my head, but like if the person is not American, but also not visibly from another country. So like for example, if the person that's foreign is like for example from China or from Africa or whatever, like they'll give them that accent. But if there's anything else, especially like Middle Eastern or like I don't know, any kind of European, they just happen to have a British accent. And I'm like,
I see.
Not everyone has a British accent when they're foreign. I need to look up a better example, but I know in particular, like if you look at like older movies about like the Romans or like the Persian, I'm sure that movie, what's that movie, Pompeii, with like Jake Gyllenhaal or whatever.
Yeah,
I'm sure a bunch of people in there had British accents, even though Pompeii is in Italy, which doesn't make any sense, but you know.
Yeah, no, I agree with you though. They try to avoid foreign accents unless it's for comedic relief, and then when they want a foreign accent, it's definitely British.
It's basically trying to seem like like British. Okay, wait. There's a show that I have in my head, and it's really bothering me. Like where all the foreign people have British accents, like no matter where they're actually from.
The like royalty / gods and everything, they're always British.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Like Thor's British for some reason.
Yeah, they always give them a British accent just to give them. They're foreign. They're exotic, but like we have to spice it up. But they can't have an actual accent, so let's just make them have a British accent. I don't like that. Yeah. Who came up with this? Why is it still a thing? I don't know. Just give them. I think it's just because they
have a lot of British actors. I literally think that's why they're like ooh. But I agree with you. Yeah, they would just make them. It's either the only accents you see on TV are British that are taken seriously. Let's say are British and just like I guess general American accents.
Or just like in general any like fantasy world. They always have British accents. I googled it, and the first article that came up is why are fantasy world accents British? Game of Thrones.
Yeah, Game of Thrones actually has no reason to be British. Is the author British?
No, the author is American.
So, like, I'm like, ¿por qué? Why?
I mean, it's filmed with a bunch of British actors, but, like, Tyrion Lannister is not a British actor, but they made him do a British accent for some reason.
No, that's weird.
So, I just don't like it.
And it's so strange because, like, I remember specifically, like, for Harry Potter, they insisted on having British people. And I was like, okay, it makes sense because, like, the author is from there, but, like, Game of Thrones, like I'm like, well, okay, like, they could have had I don't know, maybe it's like Milo, like that's
I don't know. It's just always used to like indicate that something's exotic or old, like historic. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really like that because not everyone has like British accent are not the be all end all of English, you know?
Yeah. So it's weird. Could you imagine if they like started swapping it out for Australian? Like, it
just doesn't sound right. Oh, it doesn't sound right. Or Irish accents.
Oh my gosh, people wouldn't understand. I honestly think because English is the most closest to being understand. Like they never get the real. Because if they really wanted to go foreign, they would get the random like Cockney accent, like "Hey, good boy, I care to it." Like you don't understand
exactly.
So like they get the most neutral British.
Well, I feel like it's mostly used by like American movie makers. Like if they need something to be like old or like antique or whatever, they'll be like, okay, give them a British accent.
I literally think it's because that's like just how they think of it. Like they're like old. Must be British.
I just think I can't think of an example right now where they use foreign people, but I hate when they take like foreign people and then they're like, okay, have a British accent now to indicate that you're not from America. I don't like it.
Yeah,
let them do an actual. Some people that are from overseas speak like English probably with an American accent if they learned it, depending on where they learned it from. So like, why is that so absurd to think about?
Yeah.
So yeah,
it is really weird. That's weird. Okay. on to the one I liked, which you kind of spoiled, but it's okay.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You didn't know. It was just authentic. I said my favorite character... It's a character trope now. It's again another character trope. Is flawed female characters. That's what I said.
Yeah.
So, just to name a few, like Nadine from Edge of 17. We can't praise this movie enough, can we?
I love Edge of 17. It's one of my favorite movies.
I love it. One of my favorite movies ever. Tiffany from Silver Linings Playbook. Mulan. I think she's pretty good. Amy from Trainwreck. I don't even like Amy Schumer like that, but Trainwreck, I love
Makes
that
sense.
movie.
Yeah, no, I like that movie too. It was pretty good.
I even would credit Lara Jean from To All the Boys in this category.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm going to say about that. I just think we've had, just to give context, we've had a history, I would say, in Hollywood of female characters either being really, flat, they have no, literally not significant other than being the love interest.
Yeah.
Or they're, extremely perfect. So it's you don't have, it's either she's, a damsel in distress isn't doing anything, or she's the strongest person you've ever seen in your life and she does no wrong and she always knows what to do, isn't in control, and I don't know, it's crazy. So I feel nowadays they're women watch TV to watch real women. It's not that weird of a concept.
We're tired.
Yeah, we watch real men all the time. So let's give some. So I love this new trend. I would say, definitely think it's new, of just more relatable characters, because I can definitely say when I was younger I didn't really watch as much TV and movies. Part of it was obviously my parents not letting me, but I think another thing was that I didn't relate to any of the characters that I'd ever seen on TV at all. I was I'm not.
That's why when Edge of 17 came out, I was this is probably the closest I've been to actually relating to a character, and it's literally super surprising, because it's I can't think of any other movie where I really related to a main character.
Edge of 17 is the first one where I was whoa, you're hitting me in my heart. And I didn't live any of the same experience she did, but I still
just having someone that's complex, where it's she was making some questionable decisions. It was not being that great of a person sometimes, but it's that happens, and
but you understand. And just we always talk about it, but the part where she talks about where she was watching herself and she doesn't like what she's doing, but she's still doing it. It's such literally me. Every time I do something, I'm yo, that was lame, and then I'm I have to remind myself to I just be recommend normal.
any girl between the ages of I don't know, maybe 14, 15 to any age should watch it.
I think it's not allowed. I think it's rated it's rated R, actually.
Is it
which
rated
is weird.
R? There's nothing explicit in there.
Because of the whole if you use the F-bomb,
attempts to sexually assault her kind of a little bit.
Yeah, that stuff. And also what she sends him is a little too not PG-13.
I guess. But also I just think 15-year-olds know all that stuff, though.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not saying I'm just saying in case we get sued, we didn't recommend it. No, okay,
whatever. But I just really recommend it for this age group, young females,
teens, exactly.
Young teenagers in general, not just girls. I feel anyone can really relate to her, but literally just it's such a good movie. It's that's why I need more relatable characters like that, where it's I definitely you don't have to make a character with the intention of making them relatable. Just make them an actual a real person that has flaws, that has issues.
I think it's a huge reason why I read more books when I was younger, because
books have you do a really good job, because you get to see into their head. You see in their head, you spend way more time with them, quotes, because you're literally with them, and it's just it makes more sense. But in movies, at least before, they had a really hard time making people relatable. Versus nowadays, I'm no, these are actual people that I know. Like I said, Lara Jean, some people would not be would be no, she's cute, but there's a lot of girls like her who are more into fiction than actually she's
living
cute,
out
but
their
it's
lives.
it's still realistic. It
doesn't
seem out of not real,
no,
that would never happen.
And she definitely is flawed. She doesn't she avoids confrontation, she's just trying not to get involved. She doesn't live her full high school life to the extent that that she could, but she realizes so I feel I'm a big fan of this I think it makes people more well-rounded. Exactly. I'm a fan.
Oh, you know what? This is really random, but I just thought of another example for anti-heroes. What? Parasite. Hello.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
Super random. It just came to my mind, and I'm like, that is literally the definition of anti-heroes.
Yeah, 100%. It's a black comedy, so that's the point of, or dark comedy. Some people call
my
it
wild card trope. Honestly, I probably should have put more thought into this one. I could have probably found a way better one, but this is the one I have. I only found this because I was just looking for like different movie tropes, and then someone brought this up as a trope that they don't like, and I'm like, but I like that. What are you talking about?
That's funny.
And this is like, again, I don't know if this is actually a trope or whatever, but using like minimal background music for like realism purposes.
Oh,
so, like, whenever movies just like are like super quiet, I guess, where there's like not a lot of like score or anything to make it seem more real. I love that personally. Like, there's a movie called Moonlight. Have you seen it? Probably not.
I have not seen it, but I'm aware.
It won the Oscar for Best Picture like a couple years ago. They do a lot of that where there's just not like, there's parts where there's not a lot of like, it's very quiet and there's not a lot of background music and stuff like that. Especially this one scene in the movie that's like probably the most famous scene where they're sitting in like a diner. And I personally like, if there's gonna be like background noise, make the music like in the scene, not like added in later. So like they put on like a jukebox, for example. So there was like kind of like a faint song in the background, but like it didn't feel like score. It just felt like there was music playing and like in the
like
diner.
Very natural.
Yeah. So, but it was like, it created like this like tension between them because they were like, I don't want to spoil the movie, but like they're sitting across from each other in the diner, and it's like, it just feels more real. I love that. Like people think like, oh, it's like too artsy whenever it's like super quiet in a movie and like there's no background, whatever. But I love it personally. I think it like, because life doesn't have a background track all the time, so it's like I feel like people don't like it because it might make them like uncomfortable a little bit because it's like you feel like you're intruding on somebody's conversation, but I think that's the whole point, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like
I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it bothers me, but I will say that movies that did do that, I tended not to like as much. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think it's because of that as much, but I do agree that sometimes it's more of a independent / artsy movie idea, but I don't think that's why. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that's the actual factor that made me not like the movie, but I can see how people would be turned off by it. But
that's
I also think I agree with you that it has its place.
But I personally like it because I like, well, if it works. Obviously you're not going to do that in like an action movie, but like if you're trying to make me like relate to a character, don't have as much background music, because it's like I want to actually feel like I'm in the
8th
movie.
grade was like that. I had literally like no
grade.
music.
I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but yeah, like Moonlight, 8th grade, those type of, I don't know, does I Just 17 have a lot of soundtrack? I don't know.
A lot of, I can definitely get you some, but I can't think. That's the only one I could think of right now. But there are movies. But anyways, it's not that uncommon.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I like it when it's used well. I think it really helps you relate to the characters. It's good. And stuff more. So
yeah, I see. Wow, guys, that was
a good discussion.
It was good discussion. Love that.
I hope you guys like this episode.
What kind of movies we like. If you're gonna make one, do not put the ones we hate.
Please don't. Find something else. I want to see something different, you know. I haven't. It's been a while since I've seen a movie where I'm like, wow, this is like different from other movies that I've seen, you know. That's why I like Parasite so much, because it was like, I've never seen like such complex like feelings about people or whatever, like, you know.
Yeah. Or like just like, I don't know, unique ideas. Like, come on, guys. Is that like, I feel like the last movie we reviewed, at least personally for me, that I thought was original was like Jojo Rabbit. Like, you did that after Parasite, right? So I feel like that's it. And those were the same year, so that doesn't even count, really. Like, I mean, I know 2020's canceled. It doesn't count. But you know what I mean,
haven't really been coming out lately. That's probably why I feel weird.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to see what's coming next.
I think they should continue to make book adaptations. I think that's what works.
There's a lot of good stories out there,
Yeah. Like, I'm not saying, literally book to movie adaptation, but just like, I mean, most good ones are based off a book.
Talk to some authors.
Exactly. I think they have some real good ideas, and you should use them.
Yeah. So, anyways, so we hope you like this episode. As usual, follow us on Instagram, flickchicks pod. Subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you're listening to. Give us a review. Tell your friends. And next week we'll be back with a new episode of Roasting Movies by the Fire.
Yeah, roasted.
Ooh, okay, bye.